for some rando! And here we go. We're going to start things off checking out Link's house. And starting off, we get $50 from Link's chest. Should be off to a fantastic start. And Z4T0X now going to head up to Uncle, it looks like. Going to be checking the tree pull to see what's going on here. And it looks like I'll have Problems IRL joining me here shortly. So we'll get ready for some fun commentary from him as well. 5 rupees pull from the tree pull. Nice good 20 rupee pull there. Let's see what's in the uncle's head. Let's do the uncle's hiding from it. Just $20 from the uncle there. We'll see. We got a 3-1 race, 3-1 win record for both these racers right now. So they're fighting for their chance. This race is going to be for the one. This will lock them in if they're not already. So we're going to see what's going on here. Z4T0X saving, quitting, he hang out, and I got Problems joining me right now. How we doing, Problems?
Hello. How are you doing? I'm doing good.
Fantastic.
I just need to pull up the stream.
We got Hookshot from the Sanctuary chest. That's an awesome start. Always good to get that early on. Gives them a lot of access once they start getting up to Death Mountain, things like that. So Z4T0X now going to be heading up to Lumberjack Cave. So we'll see what's going on here. Another tree pull, some more rupees. Always good to get that set up. He's got enough money now for the bottle vendor, possibly some bombs if needed. So let's see if we got just a 5-bomb upgrade there in the Lumberjack Cave. So less of a chance of an Agassi today, but there's still hope, folks. We'll see. We'll see how trolly this seed is for them here today as Z4T0X heading into the Lost Woods. See what we can find hiding in there. We got a piece of heart there in the mushroom spot. He's going to head into the cave here and find out what's hiding. And just another piece of heart. So a little bit of love starting things off. It looks like Young heading down the same path as well. So let's head into Kakariko and see what we find.
Okay, I'm finally up to date. Now see something.
Good. Glad to have you here, Problems. Good to work with you again, buddy.
Yeah, glad to commentate with you again. So what do you have? Let me see. We got Hookshot, and that's it.
Pretty much. That's the only thing we found so far. Z4T0X heading into the tavern to start things off. Guess he's wanting to get some more rubies for some bombs, probably. Piece of heart there from the tavern chest. And he's going to head into the shop to pick up some bombs, it looks like. While Kyong is going to head over, follow the very same path. They're on a very similar path starting this off here.
Yeah, we pretty much have both racers doing a fairly standard route. They're both forced to buy bombs, but that's not a big issue. At least they got the money on the way.
That's very true. Yeah, you need those bombs to check the well and Blind's Hut, as well as the Chicken Shack, where Z4T0X is right now. So let's see what that's got for us. And we got flippers in the Chicken Shack.
That's pretty exciting.
That means no fake flippers today, folks.
Yeah, that gives him immediate access to Waterfall Fairy, to the item on the ledge in Zora's Domain. It's pretty nice.
Indeed. Z4T0X now going to head into the well, find out what's hiding in there. And as he pauses the wall, we find 20 rupees in the first chest. Let's see what's in the back. 20 more rupees. Well, at least we've got the bottle vendor covered now. Red meringue, 20 more rupees, and blue mail. Nice to find that, Aaron.
Bottle vendor is honestly a relief, though. Like, people would underestimate how much, mental load that takes off you if you take those and get those 100 rupees earlier. It's just one of those locations that you don't do early, and then you kind of just forget about it because you mentally checked it off.
Same with the
So that's pretty nice.
sick kid, I think, is another.
Oh
good
yeah,
one for that.
for sure. Yeah, pretty much got both of them in the same place.
Piece of heart there from the back of Blind's hut.
Nothing too crazy so far. They have the flippers and the hook shot, which is actually a little peculiar, because those two items actually form a combo that gets you everywhere in Dark World after Aghanim. So Flipper's hookshot to me is always a thing.
10
that
arrows
makes
from
me
the
wary
bottom
of Aghanim.
bottom vendor, so we got that out of the way there. Don't know what's. Still haven't found. We found a couple of good items, but nothing big.
Yeah. There's nothing special yet, but it's still pretty early. They have all of Hyrule Castle left still. They have the South Shore.
Let's see what's hiding in the library here. Inside, and we find $20. So, not boots yet, but we'll see if Desert Palace holds anything later. So they're gonna head over to the race game, and what do we find? 50 more bucks. And they're both saying, "Nah, I don't think we need that."
Z4T0X delivering. He's thinking about it, but he finally saved and quits as well.
Yes, folks, I can't hear problems. Don't worry, I hear him just fine. He's just being quiet. Check something.
Okay, so we have both in Dam. Kyong getting that clip through the block, as does Z4T0X. That's nice. It's always nice to have the hookshot here. It's such a minimal time save, but quality of life,
No kidding.
The single arrow doesn't pick it up.
Yep. So that's the only one we'll find throughout the game. That's why it used to be called the validation arrow, but we're trying to get rid of that.
Both of them deciding not to validate their run, so they're basically forced to take the validation chest now.
And folks, we're just kidding on that. That's not legit.
No, that's not an actual rule.
Okay, didn't see what was in that first chest. $20, 5-arrow upgrade, fighter sword. That's always nice, and 50 more bucks.
Can't complain about the sword. Everything else pretty much uneventful. But they still have those flippers, so Zora area is still calling.
So it looks like Kyong's going to be heading his way to Ice Rod Cave. Z4T0X heading into the water. Probably going to check Lake Hylia Island and, of course, the Hobo.
Yes. Ice Rod Cave is one of those where if you don't go there early, you probably won't go there for a long time. So this is already kind of a make or break moment. If there's something in the Ice Rod Cave that's going to be relevant.
And we'll see if it pays off for Kyong as Z4T0X heading over to the Hobo now. We'll see how that pays off for either of these runners.
Ooh, the Moon Pearl in the Ice Rod Cave. Damn. Okay. Well, that's actually already kind of bad for Z4T0X. Luckily, the Moon Pearl, can only lose you so much time before you have to find it. But
absolutely,
it's going to take him a while, I imagine.
Kyong now going to head into escape, it looks like, while Z4T0X's going to head over to Zora. Or, I don't know why we'd be going here this early. He definitely doesn't have the money for it.
He doesn't have the money, but there's 3 items that are flippers locked, so he probably just figures, oh hey, I have the flippers. Maybe there's something important here.
Oh, just see where the logic takes him. He finds red mail. We've already got red mail.
Red mail in a bottle. We'll have to see if that bottle is going to be somehow relevant. That unlocks Sickit, obviously, which Kyong doesn't have access to yet. Z4T0X only finding a bug net on the Zora ledge, so he's going to be out and probably following Kyong to Hyrule Castle. Well, never mind me. He's not going to Hyrule Castle.
Okay, so Z4T0X, I gotta head check Sahasala's closet and then head over to Eastern Palace, maybe. We'll see how that rays off for him. Kyong heading downstairs into the dungeon. And Sahasala has the lamp!
Not bad. Kyong setting up the Death Ward, very smart.
Yep.
Get it back after he opens the chest at the end of Escape.
Yeah, makes sense there, especially since they don't have the mirror yet. So let's see what's hiding in Eastern Palace here as we get this race. We're starting to really start to see that divergence from our two runners here. Let's see whose gamble pays off.
Early Pendant Eastern, not a bad play. I like it. He just got the lamp, so there's a lamp locked item in here as well. Let's see what he finds.
Yeah, indeed. And it's also green pendant, so as soon as if he does find the bow in full clears, he can get the pendant from Sahasala.
Yeah, that could be huge. Chat making a pretty good point here, actually. That lamp is just another indicator pointing towards Aga. And like I said, hookshot and flippers is usually something that makes me think about Aga immediately. So we're really only a cape or a sword upgrade away between those two runners.
Oh, that's probably scaring them right now. Nobody likes doing Aga 1 if they can help it.
Yep.
And thankfully with that hookshot, Z4T0X can jump over the chest. He doesn't have to take the long way around, only finding a 5-arrow upgrade in there. So he's going to be digging further in. Thankfully, he's got the lamp. So actually, right now, Z4T0X made the right play because he could go back and do the dark end of Escape without as much trouble as Kyong's probably had.
Yeah, that's going to save him a little bit of time. I mean, both of these guys are good enough to not have much trouble in the dark rooms without the lamp, but it sure as hell is a lot of comfort.
Z4T0X can, once again, always get... A lot of our runners get the good pattern there in that skeleton room. If you set it up just right, there's only 2 skeletons that pop up, and you can kill them right as they appear, knock them out fast. So I don't think we found the big key yet, so it's going to be in the vanilla big key location. So he's going to have to go all the way around there. Kyong now also heading over to Sahasala's closet. He gets his lamp. So now they're starting to kind of converge a little bit here on the same path.
Neither runner yet with an insanely huge advantage. Like, yes, Kyong has that Moon Pearl, but like I said, that can only lose you so much time in Z4T0X's case. But they're pretty much following each other's footsteps.
Indeed. There's not many places they can check just yet, given their current item setup. So this is pretty much one of the best plays to make. We'll see how it pays off for them. There's the big key, like I said. Could we have Vanilla Bow? Possibly. We shall see soon. As Kyong enters Eastern Palace, Z4T0X heading to the big chest. What will we find? Just a piece of heart. And he's noping right on out of there.
So Eastern Palace is completely dead. He already found all 3 items. There's still that green pendant, which is going to give you a headache for pretty much the rest of the run, but...
And there's always potential for Pedestal Seed. You never know. We're still early on. It's hard to call. So already, we're really short on locations to check. Even with the Moon Pearl, there's not many places they can go with their current item setup. They can't go to Death Mountain. They can't go to Desert. I mean, the only thing they can do in desert is Agnes Cave.
Yep. There's really not much left. So something has to show up.
Yeah, which I think Z4T0X has already idea. Sick Kid might have something. Let's see what he's got.
Z4T0X does have that bottle that Kyong doesn't have, but that only leads to a heart.
That only leads to a piece of heart, so that doesn't help.
Nope. So I imagine this is where Z4T0X finally goes to Hyrule Castle. I'd be really surprised if he goes to Agnes Cave. Well, never mind. I'll stop guessing where the man is going to go. He clearly...
It's like they're listening to you and going the opposite way just to spite you.
Z4T0X is out there to troll me, apparently.
It seems so. Yeah, so Z4T0X indeed making the play on Agnes Cave. I mean, that's the only thing he can really do in the desert area. I mean, we could check the ledge, but that's about it. But that doesn't help if he can't get in there.
Yep.
And indeed, that's what he's doing. He's going to take the long way around to check the ledge to see what's up there, if he's going to need to go that way. Heart container, don't know if he's going to go for that because, you know, heart containers are a little more... They're a little more willing to pick up, but depends on how far they're in, how much health they already have. So we'll see on that one as he heads into Agnes Cave.
Let's see what awaits here. That's really the big one. That's the only thing he can do here. He can't even get that heart container currently. But he knows it's there now. Let's see what Agana holds.
And we find $300.
You can't really be too unhappy about that since Zora is closing in. I'm pretty sure that's the only thing those two, like between those two, that hasn't been checked. So you can't really be too mad at 300, but...
No, I mean, he's really close. He's really close to having the 500 he needs. He still hasn't gone to the Ice Rod Cave yet, and he will need to go there at some point. And that might be where he's thinking of going now. He's going to swim over to the Ice Rod Cave, since he doesn't have the Zora money just yet.
I guess he's killing a bunch of enemies here on the way in the hopes of finding 3 rupees. I mean, he's really close, so he's got to hope that something is going to be on the way. This is where he's going to find the Moon Pearl. And him holding off on escape for so long actually makes sense now. Because he's probably just trying to do escape last, so if Aghanim is required, he's going to be right there.
Yeah, he's trying to kill enemies to see if he can get some rupees there, and then he's going to hop right on over. He's going to get his Moon Pearl here shortly, so that's going to pay off for him. Plus, like you said, there's that cave right there where he can farm the 5 rupees he needs. There's his Moon Pearl. Kyong now grabbing the hobo. I don't believe there's much there. So it's off.
I like the little frustration slash right after the Moon Pearl. It's like, what? For the first time now, you don't have money. And there's the 3 rupees.
There's the 3. He's got exactly the amount he needs. Interesting that he decided to go for the grass for money instead of going into that cave, because I know there's like several 5 rupee pots there. But it didn't really cost him any time, so I guess it works out either way.
It works indeed, and Kyong is going to go up there. We know at this point that Zora is going to have something. He's either going to have access to Aghanim, or he's going to open up Death Mountain. Kyong can't get it, so he'll have to make a second trip up here.
Well, this is Z4T0X's second trip technically, so we've got
that's true.
Bugnan on the ledge. And Kyong not even opting. Yeah, he's like, oh, well, that was a mistake. Off I go. Wolflink, we've already checked Sick Kid. He only had a piece of heart on him.
Yep. Which, speaking of, Kyong is going to check that right now.
All right, what does the big fish have for us? And it is Power Glove. It's so bad.
So that's... Funnily enough, that's actually what you want to see if you're Z4T0X, because he knows this is either Death Mountain access or Aghanim. So he'd obviously rather have the Death Mountain.
Yeah, that's probably a slight little weight off his shoulders there. But before he does that, he's going to check the back of his skate, because there's 3 items. We haven't checked that yet. Well, they couldn't, because I don't think Kyong ever found a key.
Yes, there's going to be 2 items, I believe, because they don't have the key. So that has to be here. But that's still 2 items. And they're only 1 away now, either the other glove or the hammer from going to Dark World.
Indeed. There's the key, bombs, and a bomb upgrade. Nothing. All right, so let's see where Z4T0X is going next. Most likely Death Mountain, but we could be wrong. We'll see.
Is Kyong farming money?
Oh, yeah, that's exactly what he's doing.
That makes sense. This is the fastest way to get money if you don't have the glove. Little does he know there is a 300 sitting in Aghanas Cave.
Yeah, that
So
would
that's
help
pretty
him right about now.
unfortunate.
Oh. Yeah, it's ironic that, you know, at this point he needs the glove in order to get the glove.
Yep.
So Z4T0X entering Death Mountain Cave, gonna pick up the old man. Let's see what he's got for us once we drop him off.
With that hookshot, they're going to have access to a lot of chests, so there's definitely going to be something of value showing up soon.
Makes perfect sense here, so we'll see what's going on. What does the old man have? And he's got flute!
Flute! That actually does nothing right now. That's funny.
No, but it does make traveling a lot easier
yeah.
for them, so I'm sure they're not complaining.
I like how sometimes you're going to find a hype item in Randomizer, and it's like, oh, it's the flute! And then like, wait, that doesn't even unlock anything.
Not yet, anyway.
Not yet, yeah. There's the second sword.
Master Sword on Spectacle Rock, so we're going to probably see that picked up once they find the mirror later.
That's not what you want to see, because if it's sitting there like that, it's like, oh, I'm going to go to Agony, am I?
Well, that's only it depends on if they find the mirror along the way. They still have to check. Yes. He's actually going. Wait, where's he going? Oh, he's going. Oh, we got a Dark World map check. Turtle Rock with a pendant and Pod with a pendant.
Of Darkness with a pendant and 6 is at Thieves Town. I like that actually. He probably is gonna. He has to save and quit now, but he wants to see the Dark World before he does so.
Yeah. Turtle Rock now not looking as enticing to have to go to, but let's not get too hasty, folks. This is version 26. It does favor items in dungeons, and a lot of times it will put big items in pendant dungeons, so you never know.
Oh yeah, even if the bow is just sitting there in T-Rock, they're gonna have to pick it up eventually.
Exactly.
That would be terrible, actually, because Pod and Eastern are both pendants, so bow in Ganon's Tower is actually possible.
Oh lord.
And you'd probably rather see it in GT than Turtle Rock.
Fluffy Mittens, that's exactly what that's the exact point I'm making. It's pendant Turtle Rock. Yeah, all it does is make you think, oh, it's going to have something now.
Yes, it makes you really paranoid.
It does. It really does. So Z4T0X now checking the Paradox Cave, starting off with a hammer!
Well, rip Agony. And that is actually really convenient because it gives him access to Hera, so I imagine he's going to go there right after this cave.
That would make sense to me.
Yep.
So let's see what we got here in the other mini Moldorm cave. We found
the mirror! Nice! Oh, that's so convenient. That's Convenience Cave.
Telling ya! And there's the bombs and some arrows, but still, I'd call that a pretty hype cave.
I was about to say, you should probably just save and quit and go up to Hera and grab the sword on the way.
It's really smart. Seems to be his plan. Kyong now finally getting his glove. He's probably feeling relieved that all that grinding was actually worth it. All right, so Z4T0X now heading back up. Like we said, he's going to probably go to the Dark World and then immediately mirror onto Spectacle Rock to pick up his Master Sword, and then head right into the Tower of Hera. So that, again, best setup you could possibly do right now.
Yes. Kyong is going to follow his footsteps, I'd imagine. He's behind because he had to farm money, but this is nothing he can't come back from. It's still really early.
It's still an early race, folks. Things can change at the drop of a hat. I've seen it happen. All right, so Z4T0X now finding the heart container in the downstairs. He's going to pick that up because you want to get as much health as you can, but we need to find the big key. We've got 2 chests left to check. If it's not here, if it's not in this chest here, it's going to be downstairs in the basement, which I'm sure he's not looking forward to. And it's exactly where it is.
I see he just likes to punish them. First it trolls them with that Master Sword and Spectacle Rock. And now they have to go to the basement.
It looks like he's not going to set up the invincibility stretch. He's going to do things the hard way. He's going to do a little dodge, duck, dip, dive, and dodge. And now Kyong making his way up Death Mountain, picks up his flute from the old man.
Z4T0X about to pick up his big key. And
yeah, that's the only thing that can be here at this point, so we know that's what that is. There we go. He's going to mirror right back out and head upstairs.
Nice execution there on Z4T0X, pushing the color switch and knocking the beetle down the hole with 1 slash. Very nicely done. And he makes his way up and is about to pick up the 2 chests. And hopefully find something of value.
Indeed. Meanwhile, Kyong heading over to East Death Mountain, going to pick up his hammer and mirror pretty soon. Pretty happy to see that. We find Cane of Burna. Never required, but always good to find.
Yeah, that's one you're usually happy to see. He can actually... He's not going to check the big chest?
What are you... Z4T0X, why aren't you just...
He has the items, my bad.
Oh, that's true. I guess he's counting his items, so...
Yes. He can use the Cane of Burna to do Spike Cave, so that's actually fairly convenient here for him. I'm not sure... No, that bottle isn't filled, but that should be enough with all this health.
We'll find out. We'll see if he tries for it. 3 hits on Trolldorm. Takes him out relatively easily. And there's the burrito.
Nice burrito for his troubles. Meanwhile, Kyong picks up his mirror. He already has his hammer, and he's probably going to head straight to Hero. It's actually a weird one, because Z4T0X kind of has to make the choice here between Spiral Cave and Spike Cave. You can't really conveniently do both. So no. I guess he'll just opt for Spiral Cave because it's not as resource heavy. True,
and that's a confidence thing. You have to have enough confidence to do Spike Cave with this current setup. He may have enough health, but in magic, he's got full magic, but is it enough? I guess he doesn't feel that way, so he's gonna take the walk of shame with the slow Spiral Cave.
Checks out Floating Island, that's nothing. Let's see what Spiral Cave has to offer.
Let's see. Can we find just 20 bucks? Now Kyong opting to go a long way around, but he's going to head over and pick up his Master Sword.
Yep.
Oh, he's going to do both. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, he's getting his hammer ready. So Kyong now heading into Tower of Hera. He'll be getting everything out of there, including his Cane of Burna. Z4T0X, let's see what's hiding inside the Spike Cave. Is this worth the trouble to go all the way around for this? We'll see you soon enough.
I'm not sure if you can make that with Cane of Burna and 6 hearts, but I'm I'm looking forward to seeing it. If you can
Good
pull it
luck
off.
there, Z4T0X. You're gonna need it.
Yep. Kyong, meanwhile, is gonna get his resident sleeper portion of the run.
Waiting till the absolute last second to start his cane. He's got a short amount of time to get this block up, but it looks like he's gonna make it and finds just 20 bucks.
Alright, so this is probably where he's gonna head to Thieves Town. He can activate this flute while he's there, which should be a top priority of his. And then he can just head to Thieves Town, which he can clear as a crystal, and usually has something.
Yeah, that definitely seems like where he's going. Again, it's the one move that makes the most sense. So, ladies and gentlemen, I ask that you please rise for the Link to the Past National Anthem. Get your swag ducks in chat, ladies and gentlemen. And ladies and gentlemen, the goose is loose! Like he said, problems, he's going to head right to the Dark World.
Yep. It's going to be interesting to see if he does the commonly chosen path of going to Skull Woods first. Because Skull Woods does have that reputation of being loaded. Or if he's just going to elect to go to Thieves Town. Because he can clear that.
Two very viable options. We'll see which way he decides to go here. And he's going... He's going up. He's going to Skull Woods. Meanwhile, Kyong taking on Trolldorm right now. Ooh, careful there. But he takes out Trolldorm without too much trouble there. Meanwhile, Z4T0X starting his run in Skull Woods. There's two unique items in here. Let's see what we find. There's the compass starting off.
Let's see if we find them. Theoretically, they could both be locked behind the fire rod still. But usually Skull Woods does have something, which is why a lot of racers just go straight to Skull Woods.
See, no struggle there. Gets another small key. Still haven't found the big key yet, so he's getting close to getting locked out here.
Yep, there's one more chest available to him. If it's a big chest, if it's the big key, he can open the big chest, but that's all he has.
Kyong also making it through Spike Cave, gets his 20 bucks for his troubles. Z4T0X very quickly getting through that Gibdo room. That room gives a lot of racers troubles, especially without Wallmaster. They can get you anytime. There is the map, which means the big key is actually locked behind the fire rod.
As is both of the items. As are both of the items. So that's nothing in Skullwood so far. But obviously makes it a prime location to go to once they find that fire rod.
Yeah. Absolutely, especially since Skullwoods is a crystal dungeon, so they're going to have to go back there eventually. So Z4T0X looks like he's going to check Bumper Cave.
Finds a heart piece on there and decides to go back towards Thieves Town. Kyong pretty much following his footsteps. He just activated his duck. Will be interesting to see. He could make up some ground here by not going to Skullwoods immediately.
Yeah, that's possible. We'll see how that plays out. Meanwhile, Z4T0X opting not to go back to Village of Outcasts, instead heading over to check the Graveyard Ledge.
We'll see how that works out for him. That's a pretty far walk for one item, especially because he has to take the long way through the graveyard.
That's true. I mean, if you had the boots, I'd say it's a little more logical because then you could also check King's Tomb. But right now, all he can do is check this cave.
We'll see how it works for him. Get 3 bombs for his troubles.
That didn't pay off for him, but better to get it out of the way, I guess. And of course, chat already once again always asking for pedestal seeds because that's what they love.
I legit don't think I've ever seen boots at pedestal, so that would be pretty exciting.
I've seen it. Well, we can already rule out Aghanim. Aghanim is not happening. They have Dark World access. They have access to all of Dark World at this point. So yeah, don't count on a Aghanim seed. But pedestal's hype is still a thing. So Z4T0X now making the play on Village Outcast. Kyong actually going into Skull Wood, so nope, he is still behind. All right, Z4T0X heading into the bombable hut. Let's see what he finds inside of there. And we have heart container, a little extra. Considering how troublesome the blind can be in these town, then a little extra health does not hurt. Checking out the chess game now. 10 arrows and a single rupee. That's a rep off.
Yep. Meanwhile, Kyong seems to be done on his adventures in Skull Woods.
Looks like he'll probably head right into these towns, so they're going to be pretty close to each other at this point.
He's pretty much following Z4T0X's footsteps, which is expected. We just have to hope he makes up the time eventually.
Could come down to execution if that's the case, but we'll see. Z4T0X starting his run in these towns. Finds the big key right off the bat. Always nice to find that early. Though you're guaranteed to find it within these first 4 chests. It has to be here, so let's see what else we find along the way.
Kyong going to be following into Thieves Town shortly. Meanwhile, Z4T0X has his first 2 chests, I believe. He had the big key and I missed what the second one was.
Bombs.
Bombs.
So not much going on here. But that again, this is Thieves Town. It is a crystal dungeon, so it's definitely good to get it out of the way. At
There's
literacy. Oh, could we get a pedestal check? We're right there. And Ice Rod. Oh, Thieves Town.
Paying off. Is calling. He's not really calling yet, but it's the first step in the right direction towards
yeah.
and D-Rock.
Oh, yeah. The siren call of Turtle Rock isn't there yet, but it's definitely tuning up.
Already finds 3 of the 4 items in the first part of Thieves Town. If this was a pendant dungeon, he'd be pretty happy and probably leave, but sadly he has to complete it, so it doesn't really matter too much where the items are.
Nope, he's going to go ahead and full clear, which, again, like you said, makes sense. So he's going to head up the hell way, as we like to call it, because this is always a pain in the butt to get with.
Oh,
but
yeah,
with the hook shot, it's a little easier.
If you have to do that, hookshotless and bootless, it's just the worst. It is true hell. That's why it's aptly named Hellway.
And then, of course, thankfully he has also got red mail, so that makes it a little easier, especially with these little green buggers. He's going to bomb the blind hole, as I like to call it, because you have to open that up. There's the compass. So the remaining item is either downstairs thankfully they have the hammer, so they can check the big chest. And then, of course, there's always potential that blind could have it. And Kyong indeed now in Thieves Town as well. Not too far behind.
No. He's
So
really
if
not
he
that
keeps
far
making
behind.
no, if he makes the right calls from there on out, he could catch up and overtake Zatox. But we'll see how that plays out.
He caught up a little bit because he never checked the graveyard ledge, so that's where the sudden catch-up comes from. But it all comes down to what they do after Thieves Town, and the obvious choice would be to do Swamp Palace because they have everything for that. But nobody really likes to go to Swamp Palace, so we'll have to see if somebody gets another idea.
Indeed. Zatox getting a small key from the Maiden's chest. He needs that because they gotta head over and check the big key chest. What will it be hiding? Is it the map or is it the item? It is the map, so Blind has the last item. All right, so Zatox, what is? Oh, I see what he was doing. He took an intentional hit to cut off his sword beams. So he's going to start his fight with Blind. Thankfully, he at least has Master Sword, so he will have that a little bit of extra range, because with Blind, it doesn't matter what sword you have, it's always 9 hits guaranteed. But the sword does give you a tiny bit of extra range to allow you to hit Blind, and it makes a very perfect fight for Zatox. What does he get for it? Just $20.
So nothing in Thieves Town.
I wouldn't say that. He got the book.
Never
he
mind.
got the book and the ice rod. It's nothing aggressive, but a lot of knowledge available, especially with that book.
Nothing on Blind is what I meant to say. My bad.
Fair point.
So that makes the route to Swamp Palace actually pretty convenient because the Bombos tablet is right next to it, which is definitely a spot you can and want to check with that book.
Yeah, if it's giving you the book at this point in the race, I mean, we're not even an hour in yet. If he's getting the book now, it might be a good idea to check those tablets to see what they offer. And he's going to head over to the digging game now, looks like.
Ooh, doesn't have the money for the digging game.
So a few frustration slashes there. Needs to get at least 40 more rupees because I believe it's 100 for the digging game. So he's going to have to go back to that later, but he will check old Stumpy here in the Dark Grove. Let's see what he's got. And piece of heart.
Piece of heart, nothing too concerning yet. There's still a lot to check, so you don't really get in panic mode just yet.
No, there's a lot that they can still check. There's a lot of places they can go. So they're not too worried yet. Bombs in the Mirror Cave. And I'm willing to bet he's going to probably make a stop by the what I used to call the Hype Cave, but I don't call it that anymore because, quite frankly, it's not as hype as it used to be. As Elminster in the chat calls it, Tripe Cave. These days, with Versa 26, it definitely seems to be. But meanwhile, Zatox's going to head over and he's going to take your word. He's going for the Bombos tablet.
Well, let's see what that book leads to. Book definitely would make me suspicious, so checking this is a pretty good idea.
Yeah, makes perfect sense to me. But only 20 bucks.
20 rupees. You can go back to that digging game now if he wants to.
No, he's still 20 short. I'm pretty sure. I think it was 100.
It's 80.
Oh, 80. My bad.
He'll make his way to Hype Cave. He'll get around to the digging game eventually. We're going to see a Hype Cave now. 5 items there. Let's see what it holds.
Yep, folks, hold your hype until we know for sure because we don't know.
And then we're probably going to see a Swamp Palace. I don't know what he could really find in here that would make him not go to Swamp Palace. I mean, it's 6 items, it's right here, it's a crystal.
Yeah, he'd have to get something extraordinary for him to decide not to go to Swamp.
Boots!
That's Boots! What are those?
The tempered
sword. Oh, yeah. You know what? I call that a hype cave.
If that isn't hype, then I don't know what is.
Yeah.
How you like that hype, Chant?
The hype is real in the hype cave. And he is deciding not to go to Swamp Palace after that. He's going to desert.
He's like, I just found the boots. I know that there's a heart up there. I know that I can clear desert. Let me just go to the Light World dungeon.
Oh, that is amazing. Wolflink, that's not true. That's what we call uber hype. That is uber hype.
That is quite the hype.
But if you could at least get 2 good items out of them, one of them being a guaranteed progression item like the boots, yeah, I'd call that a hype cave.
That for
so
sure
Zatok starting on Desert Palace. There's another heart container.
So that means those boots are required because there has to be a key on the torch, either a small key or the big key.
Yep, sure enough, small key there on the torch, so he's going to check towards the vanilla big key location. Finds the compass there. The Beamos room there. So let's see what the vanilla... So this has to be the big key. Vanilla big
key. And then there's an item either in the big chest or on Land Molas. Meanwhile, we're still waiting on Kyong's stream to come back up, but he is making a local recording in addition to his stream, so he'll definitely have a recording to submit.
Yeah, so don't worry, folks. Unless he forfeits, he is still in this race.
Yes.
At this point, he is not done, so we'll grab him back up as soon as we can. But in the meantime, we'll keep keeping our eye on Dad Talks here. Give us enough idea of probably what Kyong is doing. So I think he got the map out of the big key box, so he's going to have to probably find the last item from Land Molas.
Yeah, definitely going to find that last item from Land Molas. And he has the Ice Rod. I wonder if he's going to use that on Land Molas, or if he's just going to go for the red sword spins, which do exactly the same amount of damage.
Yeah, he's got some options here. We'll see how that plays up.
Chat also informing us that Kyong is back up, so it should only be a matter of seconds until we see him again. Whereas Zatox is just one and a half rooms away from getting to Land Molas.
Yep, you have to use the lantern, which takes a little bit trickier because you got to get around that Igor, but he gets through it without any trouble. So now it's time to take on Land Molas. Should be a pretty easy fight with what he's got equipped. And Kyong apparently has he finished Swamp Palace.
So he probably went to Hype Cave, found the boots, found the sword, and decided to go to Swamp instead, like I originally suggested.
Yeah, and considering how fast he completed, he had to have skipped left side.
Yeah, probably going to take a while for us to see what he found. Our trackers will need to catch up, but they're on it. Be patient, guys. Chat says he has silvers.
That's interesting.
Oh, he does have silvers, yeah. You can tell from the icon, from the sword icon. Interesting. So that's a crystal for both of these guys. Zatox is going to have the luxury of being able to do Swamp Palace and then deliver the big bomb to Fat Fairy, because Desert Palace was one of those crystals.
That was probably his thinking on that too. Yep. So, and it looks like that's what he's going to do. He's going to go down and open up Swamp Palace to get that started. So we'll see what we missed inside of it. Yes, there might be more items besides the silvers in there.
And it does appear that Kyong missed one item in Swamp, so we'll see if Z4T0X will elect to go left and pick that up. Doesn't look like our tracker is caught up now, and it doesn't look like Kyong found anything other than those silver arrows in Swamp Palace.
But again, if he rushed through it as quickly as it seems he did, he may have missed the left side, and if there were any items he left behind, that could be the difference. So Kyong now making the play on Desert Palace as well, so he's going to be finishing that up. We didn't find much, but it's Crystal Dungeon, so you got to complete it. And yeah, chat pointing out, because we have the boots now, it's the only thing that can be on the pedestal at this point is most likely the medallions, because it can't be Fire Rod because you have to complete Turtle Rock. Can't be the Cane of the Samaria for the same reason. And those are the only two, you know, and the bow you need for Eastern Palace. So yeah, the only thing left that could be possibly on the pedestal is one of the medallions, because they could be needed for Mire.
Indeed.
I'll be honest, I don't. The hope for pedestal seed is looking very, very grim. This could be a pretty quick race at this point.
It's indeed looking grim, but you know what's looking good? The hope for the bow to be in Turtle Rock. Still looking pretty damn good.
That's some trolling right there.
I wonder if we're actually going to see a bowless Ganon's Tower play and one of the racers gambling on the bow being in Ganon's Tower. That could be a very interesting one.
Considering whenever I come one of these races, they end up getting cursed with something like that, I would not be surprised. So there's the heart container there for Z4T0X. Ah, that's always nice to find. Especially this late in. If you're low on health and you find the Sanctuary Heart, that could be a blessing.
There's another 300 bucks. I was wondering why Z4T0X didn't pick up that key, but he's going to get it now and go to the back.
Yeah, no, he's going to the back, so he's not checking left side. I guess he assumes that if he doesn't find all the items, he can always go back and check left side. He's got the mirror, so it won't be that much trouble to do. All right, so Z4T0X going to probably head down here, pick up the two chests to the bottom. That's probably where the silvers are hiding, since we haven't found those yet. And sure enough, there they are.
And the compass is also here. So that's the mitts for Kyong now. Both players pretty much on even playing fields again.
Relatively close, so this race is still up for debate on who's going to win this one, that's the kind of race you like, is when you're never sure who's actually in the lead.
And this is where it gets interesting, because those mitts open up a lot, and they're going to have to take a guess as to where to go. Currently the options are still not very many. They can go to Mire area, they can go up Death Mountain, but that is going to open up soon.
Yep, and Kyong is going to the Mire area, going to check what medallion is needed there. And that's Bombos, which obviously we don't have yet because we don't have any of the medallions, but he's going to check the Mire Shack and most likely Checkerboard Cave. We'll see what he finds there. He's going to use the mirror glitch. This is one of those minor glitches where the block is not considered there when it's moving. So if you use the mirror, it just disappears.
Looks like there were only 2 big 20s in Mire Shed. See if Checkerboard Cave is friendlier for him.
Yep, and a heart container off of Argus. So Z4T0X now completing it. 20 bucks in the Checkerboard Cave.
It's a lot of red rupees in my area. And Kyong is finally going to check his Aghanos Cave. And at this point in the run, he probably doesn't realize that his farm was for nothing. But He could have used those 300 rupees earlier.
Yeah, he could have. But let's see where Z4T0X. He's going to Death Mountain, it looks like. It's probably the better play here because we know that Meyer doesn't have anything just yet, so going this way will end up being the right play. Because he's probably going to check Super Bunny Cave and Hookshot Cave while he's here. There's a lot of good items there.
Yep. So Z4T0X electing to go to Death Mountain earlier. Because like you said, there's a ton of items. More so than in Misery Mire, so that's probably his logic behind coming here first.
Makes sense, though Kyong is right on his heels.
Yep.
So he's definitely realizing that there's something either in Super Bunny Cave or Hookshot Cave, because I don't think there's many other laces left they can check. Maybe Catfish. So let's see. We got 2 chests here in the Super Bunny Cave. Called that because there is actually a minor glitch where if you are the bunny, which you don't have the moon pearl, you can fall down the hole and still get into this and open these chests up. 5-arrow upgrade and Fire Rod!
So that's the 2 items in Skull Woods, as well as access to Ice Palace, both of which are crystals and have to be completed.
Yeah. And then they're also 1 cane away, and he's actually going to check Turtle Rock to see what medallion it is. It is also Bombos.
So that's not going to be. So we know Pedestal is dead now because Bombos can't be on the pedestal anymore because required for Turtle Rock. So the best we can hope for is for the bow to be in a very trolly location. And that's probably the item that's going to give these guys the biggest headache right now.
It's looking that way. Being a bottle first off in the Hookshot Cave.
There's Bombos.
There's our Bombos!
Thanks, game. Oh. Alright, so he can't go into Turtle Rock because, like, he can go in, but he can't get past the first room.
He can open it up, but he can't go much further than that because, yeah, he needs the big red cane for that. Looks like he's probably going to have the Ether Tablet.
Very smart. I was actually not thinking about that.
Yeah, it's right on the way, and there's not many other reasons to go back up here, so now would be the right time to check it. What do we find?
Let's see what we got. We got 50 rupees.
50 bucks. But he can flew right on over and head straight to Skull Woods. And that seems to be where he's going. Kyong is already on his way there, so...
People prefer Skull Woods over Ice Palace. I personally don't agree with that. I love the early Ice Palace play. Or, well, as early as possible. But it makes sense to come here.
Yeah, it makes sense to come here, but I also can see your point on the Ice Palace play, mainly because I've seen Ice Palace almost always have something big in it. So it's almost always a good idea to go there as soon as you can.
Yes. On the other hand, if they find the cane and the bow here, by lucky coincidence, they can just go mode Ice Palace, and obviously that's the dream.
Yeah, you want to hope you can go mode Ice Palace, because it's so much of a pain trying to full clear it. There's so many items that are way out of the way, but if you can go mode it, it's so much easier. So Kyong gonna open up the back end of Skull Woods. We know for a fact the big key is here somewhere. Yes. But we don't know if it's in that chest that Kyong is passing up or if Mothula has it. If he has, no matter what, he's going to have to go back and get that chest because that chest is guaranteed to have something in it.
They're definitely both going to have to pick it up because we're still missing both items. So one of these is going to be the item. And then the other is the big key, which leads to the item.
So Kyong now going to head into Mothula. Thankfully, he's got red mail, so damage-wise it won't be difficult. And with Tempered Sword, it won't be too difficult to defeat. The only problem you have to worry about is, of course, keeping him away from those spikes because it's programmed for him not to take any damage if he touches the spikes. And that includes you hitting him, but he gets a quick 3-hit kill.
That was a very clean fight. Very well done. And there's a bee bottle.
Another bee in him. Another bee torp in a bottle.
Hiding his weakness. Smart.
Yep. Funny enough, I was calming a race the other night where one of our runners used 3 good bees on Mothula and yet still died to him.
Bees generally cause me more trouble on Mothula than they do any good because it pushes Moth around. You don't know what's going to happen, and frankly, they barely do any damage because it's fighter sword.
Pretty much. So Kyong now got to pick up the big key from the chest here in the bottom. And then he's going to pick up the big chest on the way out, which makes sense. And obviously, since we now know there's no hope of a pedestal seat, he's not going to bother checking it. It'd just be a waste of time.
Both of these guys probably realize that the pedestal can't be required, so just going to skip over it.
And Greenleaf TGE with the pun of the day, the beast raced.
So what was that about pedestal? Z4T0X listens to us, I swear.
Oh, God, dang it. So what's in the big chest? Half magic.
No, you can't be. Oh, Z4T0X actually skips that, so he's not going to get that half magic.
Oh,
he doesn't really.
It's not required, but considering it's not required, but considering we're going to be Ice Palace soon.
Oh yeah,
that's nice to have.
He's gonna go through Ice Palace and think, oh, I wish I had half magic.
Yeah, I'd say advantage Kyong at this point.
Half magic is nothing you can't outrace, but it's certainly nice to have, and it does give you an advantage. Z4T0X does take the safety.
Yeah, he's instead opting to get some blue goo from the medicine shop. Yep. That'll help, but again, I'd say Kyong's got the smarter play getting that half magic when he did, because he's already in Ice Palace, and he's going to be able to have a much easier time.
Yeah, so that... Well, and that is actually already where the half magic comes into play, because Kyong pretty much knows that he's good on magic for Ice Palace, whereas Z4T0X, without that half magic, you want to make sure. You want to have a solid magic plan for Ice Palace.
Yep, exactly. So that's going to mean he's going to have to play things a little more carefully, which also means he might slow him down, whereas Kyong knows, even small magic drops will be beneficial with half magic. So, since it's going to be a while
each other.
Yeah, pretty much. Since this is going to take a minute for them to find any major chests, let me take this opportunity to remind you guys, if you're enjoying these runners, please give them both a follow on Twitch, Kyong92 and Z4T0X, of course. Our tracker, Buckshot Boo 24, and of course, my co-commentator and I, Problems IRL, and myself, The Shades. Give us all a follow.
Why can't they remove the block in Mirror with Ice Palace? Because in a dungeon, the mirror will take you back to the start of the dungeon. You can only use the block erasing in spots where the mirror doesn't actually teleport you.
Yeah, it would give you more trouble than it's worth.
I don't think I've legit seen anyone do that, but out of habit, just try and erase a block and it teleports you back to the start of a dungeon. Z4T0X setting up the item, the dash here.
He handles it pretty well, only having to stop for a second to pick up the key there. And Kyong taking still holding that slight lead, thanks to a nicely done bomb jump. And Z4T0X having a little bit of trouble with that.
I think he has it now. Yeah, that's it.
There we go. Apparently, Elminster has seen someone try to do the mirror trick after finishing Moldorm 2. That had to be embarrassing. No. To be that far in and then accidentally warp yourself back, that has to be humiliating. I feel for whoever did that.
I guarantee you never ever forget that again after that happened to you, though.
No! Because that could cost you a race right there. Let's see. Kyong finding the compass here in this room. Still got a couple more chests to check. Because we are not in go mode, we have to full clear every dungeon along the way. That's always a pain here, especially in Ice Palace. There's the big key.
It's interesting to see, though, how Kyong has the head over the course of this race. Basically through raw execution for the most part, and I want to say slightly more efficient routing. going to Swamp Palace when he was there and not going to the Graveyard Cave.
Yeah, he's made a few decisions, and because we know those places didn't have any items, those came back to actually help him because he didn't miss anything.
It could have gone just as badly. Yeah, that's very true.
All right, 5-bomb upgrade there from the upper chest. He's gonna bomb jump across. I don't think he's gonna check the big chest. I don't think there's anything in there at this point.
They're still looking for one item, so he's gonna check this out of the way chest that basically annoys everybody. And if it has an item, he's gonna go straight to Cold Stare. If it doesn't have an item, he's probably just gonna walk back where he came from to get that big chest. Has a burrito.
Yep. So that means that that last chest is most likely to have an item.
I want to see how many burritos these guys have at the end of the. I think they got the burrito out of every dungeon they've been to now. There's one hungry Link.
Or Marissa in this case, considering the sprite that Young's using. Yeah, for those who have never done Randomizer before, you can choose custom sprites. Kyong using Marissa from the Toho games. And we're adding new ones all the time. I know our friend Sakura Tsubasa has been testing some new ones as we speak to set up for version 27. So look forward to that. Kyong now getting ready to head into Cold Stare. Found the small key in the big chest. So Cold Stare has the last item.
Yep. And Z4T0X either decides to skip that out of the way chest or take the slightly slower route to it. We'll see. He could make up some ground here if he goes straight to Cold Stare. We know it's going to work out for him, but he pulls out the hammer, so he probably is going straight to Cold Stare, right?
It looks like it. So he's going to have a slight chance to catch up here. Just really depends on the Cold Stare fight. Kyong tried to get him into the corner, couldn't quite pull it off.
Taking a minor gamble here. We know it's going to work out for him. It's a 50-50 between
drop.
A red rupee.
Just a big 20 from Cold Stare. So the bow is still elusive. And right now, they have two options. They can either go to Misery Mire and hope they find the king. Actually, no, that is the only play they can make. They got to go to Mire.
They can go to Pod.
That's true. They can start checking Pod if they want to.
A third.
There's at least...
Yes. There's only 3 chests in Pod that are not considered bow locked in the current logic, so it would be a pretty big risk. But so is going to Misery Mire without the cane. They still have Fat Fairy, if I recall correctly. I don't think Z4T0X ever went there.
No, and Kyong, I think, is doing that play. Yep. Yeah, Kyong making that play, which is not a bad play to make right now. I mean, they don't want to risk going into the other dungeons until they know for sure what. Okay, now actually, what is? Oh, did Kyong not check?
No.
Oh no.
What?
Oh, he didn't go this way yet. I know.
Right.
We're expecting specific routes, and then we forget they haven't done certain other routes yet. Z4T0X now checking Bonk Cave, which has not been checked yet. But only finding 20 bucks for his troubles there. So Kyong now going to head up to Old Stumpy. Not going to be finding much there. And Z4T0X, I think, is heading to King's Tomb.
Yes, I don't think either one of them has done that yet. Kyong never came here.
No, definitely not. So let's see. Let's see if this actually pays off. What do we find? Just some bomb.
King apparently used to be a pyromaniac. Kyong buying some bombs while he's here. That's a smart move. He was low on bombs. That's 30 bombs just for pickup.
Indeed, and Z4T0X gonna make the play on Pod.
That is big because, like I said, there's only 3 chests in Palace of Darkness that can have the bow. Subsequently, if he actually gets to the back of Pod now and finds the cane, he'll get a lot of information. So this is potentially a really big moment for Z4T0X, even though there's a good chance Kyong is going to come here right after because he's close.
Yeah, exactly. It's once again a case of whose gamble pays off.
Yeah.
Z4T0X paying off everyone's favorite extortionist, Kiki. And also checking the pyramid while Kyung was there, so he didn't find much there as well. But we got mushroom, and a single rupee. Hashtag fetch quest.
We might see a play on Catfish and Witch now as well. If he mirrors, he's not going to go to Catfish, but he's probably going to deliver that mushroom. You found it, now you kind of got to... pretty much committed to turning it in.
Yep, Z4T0X finding the key downstairs, so he will be able to check most of pod at this point, which is good, because that gives him a better chance to find items. But let's see if Kyung's gamble pays off with that mushroom. Getting his flute ready just in case. Just 20 bucks.
Yeah. There's the cane! For Z4T0X in the front.
Big red cane, by God!
Oh my God! And here's the deal, that cane was not bow locked. So the bow can still be literally anywhere. That's interesting.
Oh my!
I think if I'm Z4T0X, I definitely check the last chest in pod that isn't bow locked because it was really close. Just so you can rule out pod, but he probably saw that cane and was like, hey, I'm good.
Yeah, don't entirely blame him. Kyung making the play on Nair, that is gonna cost him time because we know the cane is not there. He will have to double dip.
But yeah, I definitely think he probably just saw the cane, you know, and he got so excited that he forgot about that last chest. But I do believe if we ask him after the race, he's gonna say, "Yeah, I should have checked that chest." But yeah, we'll see. We'll see what Meyer holds, and we'll see. This is also interesting because Z4T0X could just decide to go mode Meyer and gamble on the bow in Ganon's tower if he finds the big key early.
Technically speaking, I think we can call it, can't we?
There is nothing that stops the bow from being in GT. That cane was not bow locked, so we're all good.
You know what? I'm calling it. Ladies and gentlemen, Z4T0X is officially in Go Mode! Because, yeah, technically, because he doesn't need... Yeah, the only crystal he has left is Misery Mire. He can complete that. And, yeah, if he opts to do bowless strats on Ganon, he can just go for it.
No, he can't. He needs the bow. He needs to get it to get up Ganon's tower.
That's true, but still...
Yeah, we'll see. It doesn't look like he's getting a big key, so he's not really faced with a question on whether he wants to gamble on the big key in Ganon's tower. Yet.
Alright, fair point. He's in bow mode. All right.
We're in bow mode, yeah.
And again, if he finds the bow here...
and he goes straight to Vitreous. Okay, he's gambling on the B key, the B key in Ganon's tower. He's gambling on the bow in Ganon's tower. Interesting. So this could be a major time sink. If the bow ends up being in a spot that he already decided to skip. Semi-go mode. I like to refer to it as soft go mode personally, but that's only if I don't know if I'm in go mode. These guys know they're not.
Yeah, this could be a big risk here though, so we'll see how this plays out. If the bow is on Vitreous, then he will have made the right call and be in true go mode. But if not, will he go back to check the rest of Misery Mire? Or will he check anywhere else, like the pendant dungeons he's missed? Because now he can go to Turtle Rock, and he's probably hoping that that's not where he has to go.
That bow is calling from Turtle Rock. That is very much an option.
Yeah, no, I called that one a little too early, guys. You know what happens? I stay hyped too often. Sometimes I go crazy at the wrong time.
I
Kyong
like the
also
way of
finding
being pyroclastic. Sorry.
Z4T0X taking on Vitreous now. With those Tempered Sword, goes through pretty quickly. Uses one of his blue potions to heal up, just so he doesn't risk getting sniped by the big eye.
Making short work of Vitreous here, and those blue potions actually paying off. Oh god, Elminster, please. There's a burrito, so there's 2 items in Meyer. At this point, he has to decide whether he wants to go back and look for the bow in Meyer, or just go to Galen's Tower.
What gamble does he make? And will it pay off in either way? Because there's, again, there's...
Meanwhile, it looks like Kyong is doing everything he can.
Yeah, he's trying to... He does not know where the cane is, so he does not know where to go. Z4T0X opting to go back into Meyer, so he's going to check. Oh, we have not checked the Swordsmith yet, have we?
Nope. And Kyong doesn't know it yet, but right now he doesn't want to see the Cane of Samaria, which he can't because we know where it is. He wants to see the bow right now. That's what Kyong wants to see. And that could be huge if it's actually hiding out here and Z4T0X ends up going to Ganon's Tower. That's going to give Kyong the time he needs to catch up.
Absolutely, because he most likely will go to Pod and get that cane, and then he will be in go mode. 300 rupees in the Peg Cave. And let's not forget, not only does he have the Swordsmith here, but there's also the purple chest, which hasn't been checked yet. And we find just 20 bucks from the Swordsmith, so still not found it yet. But let's see if the purple chest brings up anything, because he still has that. Oh, he's also going to check Batcave. He did find the powder in Meyer.
Oh, Z4T0X actually deciding... Z4T0X actually deciding he doesn't want to take the risk.
Can't blame him at this point. Let's see what the bat's got. And just 5 arrows. Yeah, appreciate the arrows, buddy. Now, could you give me a bow to use those with? Now, Z4T0X did not get the Swordsmith, nor is he going to be able to get the purple chest where he's at, so he's going to have to go back and get all those. But he's opting to flute out of there.
Yes. Seems like Z4T0X is finally deciding to go up to Ganon's Tower, and I think Kyong is going to be out of options after that purple chest. He'll have to go to Pod.
Most likely. Now, I don't want to call it yet, because we don't know which way Z4T0X is going. Will he go into Ganon's Tower, or will he opt to go into Turtle Rock to check it first?
That'd be interesting if he actually elects to go to the Turtle Rock before Ganon's Tower. But I'd be really
depends on how confident is he that the bow is in Ganon's Tower.
At this point, there's 23 chests in Ganon's Tower. You know, with like a total of 7 keys or so, to be fair, but that's still more than twice the spots that T-Rock offers.
True, but he is taking the gamble on Turtle Rock. That's where he's going.
No, we don't know that yet. He might just jump off and go to GT. We're about to find out. Yes, both of these racers have gone into Eastern Palace. And
he's going for Ganon's Tower. Well then, just in case, let's get it going, guys. There's a tradition we do here. There are 22 possible item locations inside of Ganon's Tower. Where do you think the big key's hiding? And more importantly, where do you think the bow is hiding?
If the bow even is in Ganon's Tower. Oh no, Kyong is going back to check the one item in Swamp Palace. So that's going to waste him even more time before he finally finds that cane.
True, but if he finds the bow, then
big.
It'll be the exact opposite.
I think if he finds the bow here, he wins, because you got to figure Z4T0X would go to Turtle Rock after Ganon's Tower.
I wouldn't doubt it for a minute. But let's see whose gamble pays off once again. There's a small key on the first chest. 2 small keys. And he's gonna go right side.
Straight to the right side.
This is an interesting run here, folks. We do not know which one is making the right call here. It could be that neither one of them is making the right call. We don't know. It is completely up in the air.
We could even see a forced double dip into Ganon's Tower here if there's some fetch quest in here, like the shovel.
Oh, that would. Well, let's see. What do we got? Oh, no. Actually, I think we've done all the fetch quests because we are. Oh, there's the big key.
There's the big key in chest 4. There's the shovel.
There's the shovel. Oh my! He's gonna check the left side.
He's probably gonna clear GT first.
It looks like it. It would be so trolly if that's where the bow is at the shovel spot. That would be the ultimate troll. Zatok finding 10 arrows on the torch, so Bob will live. And considering we're looking for the bow, there's a better chance we'll find him today. We'll see him today. In the chat calling me out. Shade's curse strikes again.
Finds a heart piece. There's butter sword. That's not going to kill red mimics, though.
Nope, he still needs that bow. Oh, this is amazing. There's Quake.
This is such a terrible spot to be in for Zatox, because with every chest you open that isn't the bow, you just feel sicker and sicker. We're coming up on Kyong's item, though, here. So we'll see.
Indeed. There's the map.
And there's a key for Zatox.
Moment of truth for Kyong. Oh, here we go. Kyong, what do you got? Nope, piece of heart. So Swamp was not the right call, but he still has a chance.
Yeah. He needs to find that bow first. I think he has to go to Palace of Darkness now, right?
I'm pretty sure that's all he's got left. And that is where he is going. So he'll be getting his cane. And there were still a few chests left in pod that he could have checked. So maybe Kyong goes further.
Only one of which can have the bow. So if Kyong knows that, he should really not clear much more. There's Ether, all the medallions hiding down.
The remaining medallions in Ganon's Tower.
He's going to fill out his entire inventory. The Bugnet and the Cape are going to show up too. Everything's going to be here except for the bow.
No, we know where Bugnet is. That was over
we know
ledge.
You're right. The Cape, though, I think we don't have that yet.
No, Cape still doesn't. We still don't know where Cape is yet. So, heart container, red rupee,
blue boomerang. Oh, there we go. We're missing that
300 rupees. Oh, don't tell me Bo's a tile. What if Bo's a tile room?
Tile room. Big chest. Oh, that'd be hype.
But don't you need the bow for the Armos Knights?
No, you can kill them with the sword. They take forever. They take forever, but you can kill them.
I think he's gambling that's what's going to happen. He's going to have to kill the Armos Knights with his butter sword just to get a shot of the bow. Oh, this is almost it's fun at the same time. I almost feel bad for these guys.
This hurts. This really hurts if the bow isn't in here.
It does.
It was a hard piece. There's 4 chests left. No, 5. 3 behind Armos, the big chest, and the tile room. That's what he has left.
Kyong getting his cane.
He's gonna check the last chest, so if that's the bow. So this is the last chest that Zatok skipped that could have the bow.
It will be hilarious if it's there. Nope, just a small key.
Yeah, so that's it for Pod. The rest of Pod cannot have the bow.
So he's probably going to check the rest of Misery Mire. Now, again, there's still one chest that Zatox did not check in Mire that could have it.
There goes Armos. That did take forever. There's coming 3 items.
Let's see what we got here. Red rupee, 10 arrows, and a heart.
Oh god, no. I'm actually on the edge of my seat right now. Like, this is so bad. This feels so bad when you're Zatox. Here comes the big chest.
There, come on. Let's see it. Let's see it.
The map.
The map.
So he's got tile room. And then you gotta leave.
And that's what he's doing. He's going for the tile room. Oh. Why is it I always end up calming the trolley seeds, the super trolley seeds like this?
This is great. I should commentate with you more often if that's the
I think everyone's going to want to commentate with me now because they know when I'm around, the seeds get extra trolley. Either that or they just make, or the runners just make the routing decisions that make it extra trolley. I seem to bring out the worst in these runners. So Z4T0X doing the tile room. Kyong going through Meyer. I think he just got the big key. So, oh no, don't tell me he's going to do it too. Yeah, he's going to Vitreous. He didn't check. Oh, this is almost embarrassing.
I wonder how much overworld Z4T0X is going to do before going to T-Rock, but there's a good chance he's just going to go there because he's up here.
It might be. We'll see.
Here comes the tile room chest.
All right, come on, come on. What do we got? And it is...
It's a small key. It's not here. It's not here.
He's got to leave. Oh!
Oh, please be in the shovel spot.
Oh, please, can someone clip that? We gotta clip that epic moment.
Oh, no. Well, he's going to T-Rock, it seems. I don't blame him.
He's like, all right, screw it. I'm going.
Oh, no. You might as well do T-Rock, yeah. It makes sense. There's a total of 6 items, you know. The 5 items in Turtle Rock plus Mimic Cave. So this is actually the most item-dense area he can go to right now.
Indeed. Also, thank you to Cyclone GU for letting me know he's going to clip that for us. Probably going to add that to our collection.
Oh, this is great. And this gives Kyong the time he needs to catch up. However unlikely it may be, you know.
Yeah.
But who knows? Maybe he goes up Ganon's tower and thinks, okay, I checked everything. Z4T0X isn't done yet. That bow must be in a really trolly spot.
Buckshoot pointing out that we have found both the unique items in Meyer. So we cannot.
Yeah, we
so it has to be in Turtle Rock.
Or in the shovel spot.
Oh, that's true. We still haven't checked the shovel spot.
Yeah, you got that shovel from GT.
There's the fire shield.
I see a lot of confusion in chat, for those of you guys wondering. On the second floor, right after you, there's a red mimics that can only be killed with the bow. So this is what we're looking for, why we're looking for the bow. Because there are enemies on floor 2, which you cannot get past without it.
Yeah, that was my mistake earlier, saying we were in Gomo. We are not technically in Gomo because we still need that bow to get past those red mimics. But, oh, the trolling is real.
Did we check Catfish? I don't think any one of these guys check Catfish. That's actually a good point.
I don't think we had either. Here's the big key.
Glitch in the logic. Yeah, the bow is up behind Moldorm 2 in the validation chest. That's not going to happen. Supposedly. It really shouldn't happen. T-Rock does look like the highest value play for Z4T0X right now, but it's going to hurt if it's not there.
Pretty much. I think Keon's heading his way up Death Mountain now. Which will he go in again his tower, or will he realize he may have to go to Turtle Rock? He's going up there. We'll see.
Kyong did check the last item in pot, but we know the bow isn't there. That was a piece. So it's not going to be in pot. For Z4T0X, obviously, could still. Like, maybe if the bow isn't here, he's going to go back to pot. That is very much a possibility. I believe Z4T0X also hasn't done Swordsmiths or Purple Chest as well. So there's quite a bunch of things he could waste some time on. If the bow ends up not being here.
If he doesn't find the bow here... And
Kyong is going to T-Rock.
And there it is! There it is! Bowie in that one chest! Ladies and gentlemen, now I can call it. Z4T0X is in go mode!
Is indeed there. So Kyong is going to find it, but that's going to be tough to catch up. Z4T0X has the big key. He can immediately start climbing.
Yeah.
Kyong still has to find the big key. In Ganon's tower as well.
Oh, man!
Z4T0X taking a commanding lead with that bow.
So yeah, well, Z4T0X makes his way up the gauntlet. Let's take this opportunity to remind you folks, if you've been enjoying this amazing race, make sure you give both Kyong92 and Z4T0X a follow on Twitch. Of course, our tracker, Buckshot Boo 24, and of course myself and my co-commentator Problems IRL. All of us working our butts off to give you guys some amazing races, and I think after this, you know there's plenty more to come. And Noristra asking what seeds am I going to be doing in the future? Because whenever I show up, I seem to curse these runners. I swear, they're not wrong. I definitely don't disagree. I seem to give these runners a hard time whenever I'm commentating these races.
The bow ended up being in the lava room in T-Rock. Kyong is actually about to find it.
Yep.
That is... Oh, what a seed. Lures Z4T0X into Ganon's tower to look for the bow, and then it's just sitting there in T-Rock.
If he wasn't so far ahead already after finding the cane, that play on Ganon's tower could have cost him. He's lucky.
There's a lot of overworld that Kyong cleared and Z4T0X didn't, in addition to going back into Swamp, which is really, you know, the time that Kyong lost on Z4T0X here.
Pretty much. So at this point, this is pretty much Z4T0X's race to lose.
Yep. He'll have to make a lot of mistakes if he wants to lose that.
So these this particular ice room giving him a little trouble there at least. Kyong getting his bow, he is in now a go mode. He's going right to Ganon's tower, but again, he still has to find the big key, so he's not as caught up as you think he is.
He has to find the big key. It's fairly early if he decides to go right with those keys he's going to be getting. One thing obviously that can always happen is a despawn glitch for Z4T0X in Ganon's tower, which would immediately turn this race around. But other than that, I think he's in pretty good shape. And runners generally know how to avoid that, so...
Z4T0X not quite getting the one cycle on the style robes, as I like to call them. To explain the despawn glitch, because some of our chat are curious about that, if you go up the stairs where the lasers are before this torch door, or as this torch door is closing just right, it will despawn all of the enemies upstairs, and that includes Aghanim. So you cannot complete Ganon's tower. You have to reset the dungeon and go through the upper part of Ganon's tower again. So you have to be very careful about that. Thankfully, Z4T0X did not have that problem, so that won't be happening for him. He's pretty much got this race set in stone. Of course, Z4T0X not checking any of the chests. He doesn't need to now. The only thing he could possibly find of any worth is possibly either the cape or the riot shield, which he doesn't need. He doesn't need those very much, so he is good to go. But he does check the last chest, gets 50 bucks there. So he is on his way to Agatu. This race is pretty set in stone, though. Kyong did manage to go right side, got the big key quickly enough, so he's already on his way up. So he's not very far behind.
No, it can really still come down to Ganon here. Z4T0X would have to fall. He'd probably have to fall twice.
Yeah, he'd have to fall or die twice before Kyong could catch up. So, but that's still, he definitely did a very good job here. He is not as far behind as he could have been.
Oh yeah, for sure. He was really far behind at some point. He caught up quite a bit. So definitely props for that catch-up. It was just a little too much with all the overworlds that unfortunately led to nothing for him.
And Chad also pointing out, Kyong does not have Butter Sword. He did not get that from one of the other chests, so he is also going to have a slightly more difficult Ganon fight. Not by much, but enough. Z4T0X finishes off back at him. He is ready to fight the big pig.
Yeah.
Let's see how this goes for him.
He's got red mail. He's got Butter Sword. He's got 16 hearts and a blue potion. So he's got to feel pretty good about that Ganon fight.
The only thing that can get him off guard now is probably some well-timed hugs from Ganon.
Yep. Even gets the trident spin off to show off a little bit. You don't even need that with the Butter Sword, but yeah, get some easy one cycle here on both of the first two phases.
Yep, very quickly done. Skips the second phase, goes right into the final phase. So yeah, like I said, unless Ganon gives them a well-placed hug, Z4T0X has this race four arrow shots away from victory here for Z4T0X.
Mm-hmm.
Does not get the torch glitch, but he does get, he doesn't need it at this point. Even without half magic, he'll have more than enough to finish this off.
Yeah, torch glitch isn't really an issue if you have silvers. No, unless you keep missing those fire rod shots. No, we're good. Needs that last arrow, and we're good.
And is it. We're gonna wait for Z4T0X to enter the room here, and then we will. And that is GG for Z4T0X, ladies and gentlemen. An amazing race here. Fantastic job. Z4T0X finishing with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 36 minutes, and 56 seconds.
Very solid time, especially with that bow, and the fact that he full cleared Ganon's Tower. It's a really good time. Meanwhile, Kyong really not far behind. He's only now one room away from that Aghanim fight, so he's gonna be right on his heels.
Yeah, he's not. He like I said, like we said, he caught up pretty good. All right, Z4T0X is going to join us here, so let me go ahead and pull him in.
Hey, Z4T0X.
Hello.
That's on your win.
Oh, thanks.
Oh,
Oh, that was the bow.
That's what we were saying. That bow trolled you hard.
Oh yes, oh yes.
let's see. That bow was something else for sure.
What was going through your mind when you finished up the Tyler room and realized the bow was not in Ganon's tower? What was going through your mind?
Well, I was thinking about the shovel, which I found in Ganon's tower, and well, and about T-Rock. I wasn't sure what medallion T-Rock was, and I was like, oh, did I find the medallion for T-Rock in Ganon's tower now? For the bow? And well, I went straight to T-Rock then. I don't know. Or maybe in pot. I could have gone on and left right after I found the cane. I didn't have a very well feeling about this, but well, lucky.
Yeah, we were mentioning how you were skipping that one last chest in pot that could have had the bow, and that you were probably going to regret it. That you were probably regretting not checking it as you were there, but it worked out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a back and forth race between you and Kyong. Like right now, Kyong is on Ganon right now. He's already on the final phase. That's how close you two were at this point.
Nice.
He found the cane way later than you did. He did pretty much everything before he went to Pod. But then after the cane, he did Meyer and then went straight to T-Rock. So that caught him up a little bit, but it just wasn't enough to make up for all the overworld.
Yes.
And yeah, he's done the game right now. And I think he's gonna barely get the sub 140, so very solid run from Kyong as well.
Absolutely. And yep, Kyong finishing with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 39 minutes, and 51 seconds.
Very well done.
Yeah, it came down to basically, you finding the cane as early as you did, because both of you entered Misery Mire at around the same time, but he did not have the cane, so he ended up having to double dip. I think that's what ended up costing him in the end.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I did a lot of overworld in this seed, but classic version 26. No overworld, no overworld. Just go to dungeons.
Overworld is bad. It's bad for your health.
Yes.
Was there any point towards the end of the race where you, aside from the bow, that you were starting to panic?
Oh no, actually I was really really fine all the way along. I didn't feel behind at any point, to be honest, because all my decisions were good except for checking pedestal. That was really stupid after I did it. I mean, since I could have nothing been on it. And well, overall really satisfied with this, with my decisions and gameplay, more or less.
Understandable there. Yeah, you definitely did a fantastic job there. It's just that one item. There's always that one item that gets you, that gets them every time.
Oh yes, oh yes.
And Kyong is actually going to fast forward through the credits here on his end, so that he can, so he doesn't have any lag issue on his mic, and he'll be able to join us shortly.
No, I see.
Oh man, yeah, it was amazing watching. We actually clipped the moment you finished the tile room, and the reaction we got from that was just priceless.
And I bet it was the first time seeing someone open the big chest in Ganon's Tower. I guess
it's been a while, that's for sure. It's been a while. But yeah, thankfully, like I said, because of how far behind Kyong was, that early Ganon's Tower run, that double dip into Ganon's Tower did not hurt you as much as it could have. So, but again, it came down to solid execution on your part. So, nicely done.
To be fair, if I had to take a guess, and I think that's what Kyong is going to tell us, is he probably went to T-Rock early because he felt behind after looking for the cane for so long. I think Ganon's Tower is the right play because of the chest density. It's probably the reason you went in the first place, Atox, right? Yeah, Kyong is done with his... Yeah, he's in the waiting room.
He's in the waiting room. I'll pull him in.
Hello. Hello?
I think he needs to unmute his mic.
Oh,
Hey,
there we go.
hello.
GG, Kyong.
GG.
So, how did you like that scene?
Oh my god, I hate bolus pod so much.
I get that.
Oh my god.
So,
At
what were you
least-
thinking after you found that cane?
I was very sure that I was behind at that point. From what I've studied of how Z4T0X used to play, he's much more likely to do a bolus pod than me. And So that's kind of why I went to Turtle Rock before Genos Tower, since I thought that my only chance was Bo being Turtle Rock, he going to Genos Tower, Big Key being early, he full clearing, and I'm not being so far behind.
That's exactly what happened, but unfortunately you were far enough behind
Yeah.
that didn't matter in the end, but you definitely caught up really quickly. I mean, you guys weren't that, you were only a few minutes behind him. But, you know, I'm trying to think of like what questions we can ask here, because I think the biggest thing was all surrounding the bow, because everything else was pretty solid up until the point we realized, wait, where's the bow? We need the bow.
Yeah, most of the seed felt really straightforward, and then the bow just wouldn't show up, and all of a sudden it was all about that bow.
I was 100% expecting something being behind either the Fire Rod or Bombas, but there was neither of them. That was another reason why I went to Turtle Rock, since Fire Rod and Bombas gave nothing, really. But
That makes
yeah.
sense.
So
Was there any-
up
go ahead.
until Ice Palace, around that point, I was feeling pretty good. But after I cleared all of Fire Rod locked location and found nothing, that's when things went down.
That's when you started to panic a little, right?
Yeah, because I knew most of the locations I probably checked after that point he wouldn't check. So that
Yeah.
was a bit rough.
Was there any point where when you found a certain item and you were like, okay, this is exactly what I was hoping for, I might be able to take this race before everything else went down?
The sequence that I ended up getting book before into boots, into going to Death to get the meat was pretty nice. But other than that was
Well, one little thing he did was we were just talking about this. Z4T0X actually did, even though we had known at that point that it couldn't be a pedestal seat, he actually still went and checked the pedestal.
Yes. Oh man.
yeah, I ended up not checking since it was only Somari and Bo left.
Yeah, that was really not smart. That's why I skipped the big chest in Skullwoods, like, as, well, let's say punishment. But, well,
And that actually was where the half magic was. Z4T0X was in the big chest.
damn, that would have helped at some point.
Yeah, but you made up for it by stocking up on blue potions, which I think in the long run was the better play because it gave you the extra health you needed to get through some of those later dungeons. So I think that worked out for you in the long term. So any final words from either of you guys before we sign off?
Thanks for the race, and was a nice match, and well, I would say see you next race then.
Yeah,
Thanks for racing,
GG's.
and well done to the both of you.
Indeed,
Thank you,
GG.
guys.
Congratulations to you as well, Z4T0X. If you guys enjoyed these two runners, make sure you give them both a follow on Twitch, Kyong92 and Z4T0X. And again, as well to our tracker, Buckshot Boo 24. And of course, my co-commentator Problems IRL and myself, The Shades, on Twitch as The Shades AT. Thank you guys so much for joining us. And as I always like to say around here, rock on, guys!